So for question 24, we are given that a curve, so this is our quadratic curve, and a line. So first, ask us to find intersection point. So when we want to find the point, means we need to find out what is the x coordinate, what is our y coordinate. We need the concept of simultaneous equation. So y equals to 4x squared will be our first equation, and then y equals to 6x will be our second equation. So when we want to solve this simultaneous equation, we substitute, we will get 4x squared equals to 6x. So remember, you don't go and cancel like that. Quadratic, when you meet a question involving quadratic, we have to move everything to the left hand side so that we can solve this question by factorization. So from here, we can factorize out 2x. So we can factorize our 2x here. Then only we can find out 2x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0. And then another x is 2x minus 3 is 0. And then x is 3 over 2. So this is our x coordinate. Then we're going to subtract into either one equation. I will subtract into 2. So when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 3 over 2, y will be, substitute 3 over 2, y will be 9. So they want points. When we want points, so we are going to rewrite it in the format of point in coordinate, which is in bracket. So the point of intersections, there are 0, 0, and another point is 3 over 2, 9. So this is what we call it, the format in coordinate, which is point. So this is what we get here is just value. So our marks here, so solving this simultaneous is one concept, and then get out to this coordinate is another answer. So for question B, they say this question, sketch the region enclosed by the curve and the line. So I need to draw out this quadratic graph and this linear graph, and then find out the region which is bounded by these two curve and line. So for quadratic, so you can see x squared. So x squared at the back here, nothing. So means the quadratic is at symmetry at y-axis. So when x is 0, y is 0. Their intersection is at origin. So this is our y equals to 4x squared, x-axis, y-axis, and then line. So this line also pass through origin. When x 0, y is also 0. So positive gradient because you can see the coefficient of x here is positive 6. So positive gradient going up. So quadratic graph syndrome. So the region bounded by these two curve and line. So the region will be in the place here. So we shape this region. So how to get these 3 marks? So of course, the first mark is drawing our quadratic. So this is 1 mark for our quadratic. So 1 mark for our line, and then 1 mark for our region. So this is how we get our 3 marks. And then we continue for part C. So this question, they guide us one by one. Okay, they guide us one by one. Find the intersection point. So we know already our intersection point here is 0, 0. So we can label it. Here is 0, 0. Another intersection point here is 3 over 2, 9. So we know our intersection point, we know our region. So part C, then only they ask us to find what is our area. So area enclosed by this curve and line means what is this area. So for this area, we can do it rotate, referring vertically, referring x-axis. If we want x-axis, we're referring vertically. If you want to do it y-axis also can, we do it horizontally, we're referring to horizontally. So if you want to do it by referring to y-axis, then we'll dy everything in terms of y. So if you want to do it in referring by x-axis, you can see vertically. So we everything in terms of x. So for this question, I will choose to referring to x-axis because everything in terms of x will be easier. It is given already. So for this area, when you look at our area, so it was starting, when you want to refer to x-axis, it was starting from 0 origin vertically. So vertically to this point. So this point is 3 over 2. X coordinate is 3 over 2. And then you will notice that we have empty space here. So this is two curve concept. We will take the area of line, so the area under the graph of this green color line minus the empty space here. So the empty space here is area under the graph and for this quadratic. So for this area, we're going to integrate from 0, 3 to 3 over 2. So the curve up here, which is 6x minus the empty space here, two curve concept. So up minus the down one. So minus the curve at the bottom here, which is quadratic. So 4x squared dx. So for area, we will apply our integration straight away. So we just integrate this. So for 6x will become power plus 1 over new power for x squared power plus 1 over new power, then 3 over 2, 0. Then you can see first step, we write out the formula to find our area. Then second step, doing integration. Third step, writing out upper limit minus lower limit. And the fourth step, we're going to evaluate. So for this part, we will write out 6 times 3 over 2 square over 2, just write it. Just a process of writing. So this one will be 0 minus 0, okay. So finally, we'll get this 9 over 4 unit square. So formula will be our concept, integration, and answer in value evaluate. And then we continue for our question D. Question D is asking, calculate the volume generated when this region is revolved completely about y-axis. So now they want to revolve with y-axis. When they want to revolve it by y-axis, means we're going to refer it horizontally. So original, this is our curve. And this is our line. When you want to referring by y-axis, so we're going to see it horizontally. So they want this piece of region and going to rotate. So rotate y-axis so that you can get a piece of solid here. So when we look at here, this is our y equals to quadratic equation for x squared, and then this is line y equals to 6x. So when you want to revolving according y-axis, everything must be in terms of y. So therefore, for quadratic, x squared will be equals to y over 4. So no need to put in x, because later we're going to square this equation. So for this x, it will equals to y over 6. So volume, formula volume, it will be equals to pi. So referring to the y-axis, the lower limit here is 0, then upper limit here is 9, because this coordinate is 3 over 2, 9. So the integration will start from 0 0.29. And then you can see if you're doing horizontally revolving y-axis, we're doing horizontally, the right always minus the left one. Okay, the function at the right hand side always minus the left one. You can see because this is the empty space. This empty space is generated by this line. So our solid volume is come from this quadratic. So this quadratic will be this x squared. So this x squared will be equal to y minus 4, and then minus this line square. So that line square will be y over 6 square. So notice here, I already squared this function, so I don't need to square again. Just now, I move this y to the left hand side. I limit it in x squared because I need the function in square in terms of y. Okay, so now I only square this. Simplify our formula here. Y over 4 minus y squared over 36. Then we can integrate and do our limit. Substitute our limit to find out the value. So power plus 1 over power will become 8. Power plus 1 over power. So 36 over 36 times 3, 108. Upper limit 9, lower limit 0. Then the next step we substitute upper limit. Minus lower limit. So everything is 0. So therefore we will get 27 over 8 pi. Because of volume, unit cube. So for this, the first concept, the first mark is come from here. Transforming our equation in terms of y. Because when we want to revolve a completely according y-axis, so completely we change our equation in terms of y. So that will be our first concept. Then this will be our volume formula. Then we do our integrating. Then we'll do our integrations here, substitute limit to get answer. So because this question we can accept decimal, or I can accept decimal 10.6 unit cube.